Good afternoon. It is 1:15 here in Saskatchewan. I just got home last night late. I think I got home at like 3:30 in the morning, or maybe 3. I don't remember. I didn't go to bed till 3:30. So I slept in quite a bit. I just got back from Phoenix, Arizona. To be honest, there was so much excitement all week. I don't think I slept very good all week. I'm an extrovert to the max. So seeing all of these people, meeting all these new people completely energizes me. So I get to the hotel and I have a hard time sleeping. But yes, so today is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? No, Monday. Monday, December 23rd. I don't know why I thought it was a Wednesday. And welcome. I'm Nadine Ness, and welcome to your daily dose of salt and light. I'm going to be covering a lot of things today. I'm going to be covering my time at AmericaFest in Phoenix, Arizona. That was put on by Turning Point USA. I'm going to be covering who I've met there, conversations that I've had, what's to come from those conversations potentially in the future. And for Canada, what I've learned, what my thoughts were on it, as well as just my whole experience. I do have some tea on that, and I have some tea on other stuff. So I'm going to cover as well the Trump Panama drama, the Panama Canal, and where that comes from, and also a really horrific story of something that happened yesterday. A woman was set on fire by an illegal immigrant, and she passed away on the scene. And if you haven't seen the video, please don't go watch it. I'm not going to show the video, the one that I have on the screen that I'm going to talk about is a blurred one. You don't want to see the full one. I'm still having nightmares about it. It's awful. She's set on fire, and cops are walking by. Nobody's helping her out, and she's still like alive, like for a long period of time. And the guy who did it just sits there on a bench and watches her. It's so evil. It's so evil. Anyways, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a few other things too, local to Saskatchewan. And also, yeah, Christmas is coming. So tomorrow is Christmas Eve. And I'll probably do a show tomorrow. I do have a bit of shopping to do later today. All my Christmas shopping is done. I just want to do groceries before everything shuts down, so I can make a nice meal tomorrow and Christmas Day. So yeah, Merry Christmas. And I'm going to say Merry Christmas and not Happy Holiday because it's Christmas. It was really nice while I was in the US. I don't think a single person said Happy Holiday. Everyone was saying Merry Christmas and was doing it with pride too. And when I said, love that you say Merry Christmas, they'd say, I know, we should always have been doing that. There's a new boldness that's happening against the woke agenda all over Canada, all over the US. And actually, I was going to talk about this later on, but I'm just going to jump into it. This new boldness against the woke agenda is continuing. I want to post a tweet by Pierre Polyev. I think it's this one here. No, where did it go? Let me find it. Here you go. I'm going to start with that because I love that he's addressing this. So I'll explain the case. A jury convicted Mohammed al-Balouz, who now identify as a woman, goes by the first name Lavana, of the 2022 murder of Cynthia Bussiere and their two sons, 5-year-old Eliam, and 2-year-old Zach. Al-Balouz was Bussiere's husband at the time, was also convicted of arson for setting fire to the family condo in the Montreal suburb of Brossard, Quebec. So this guy is now identifying as a woman to be moved to the women's prison. I don't know if you follow Michelle. You follow Michelle Ferrari. I'm gonna see if I can get her name properly. She's been talking about convicted sex offenders, convicted rapists, pedophiles, identifying as women and having access to not only women but also children in women's prison, because there's programs where women can have their children come. But I think it's Michelle Ferrari. I'm just gonna see. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I want to find her account. She's also posted a petition, so I'll see if I can. Ferrari, yeah. I'll see if I can find the petition. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna, because I think that's like really huge. It's on X. I probably should have started with that. The joys of live, because then I find stuff I want to share with you guys, and then I gotta go look for it. Michelle. She's coming ahead as someone who's really, really addressing sensitive subjects and stuff. So the petition that she started, might be a hard time finding it. I'm just gonna search her profile here. Petition on getting rid of Trudeau. Oh, it's a video. It's 2 minutes long. So Michelle is not the one who created the petition. She's the one who, when you have a petition, you have to go, if you want to have it presented in the House, you go find an MP who will hopefully be willing to present it to the House. So Michelle is the one who's willing to present it in the House, but it's a video. But first, I'll get back to that. Sorry, I just realized I'm going on a rabbit trail here. I'll finish this tweet and then I'll share the petition. But Michelle has been talking a lot about men who now identify as trans women and having access to women's prison. So this is what Pierre had to say. Surreal. A man who killed his wife and two kids now claim he is a woman to go to a female prison. I can't believe I have to say this, but when I'm PM, Prime Minister, there will be no male prisoners in female jails. Period. I love the type of language he's using, because it's just making us realize how ridiculous that we're even dealing with this. This should be a no question about it, no question asked. Women, especially predators, will do anything, and I've talked about that. They'll do anything to have access to their victims or to victims or their victims of choice. And they'll do anything, even pretend to be a woman, and that has happened a lot. The rates of rape in prisons has gone up in women's prison. Some women have gotten pregnant, not just by prison guard. That's another problem. But that you're seeing that happen in Canada. You're seeing that happen in other places around the world as well. So I love that Pierre is addressing this. Now on to the petition. I'm going to see if I can play the video. I haven't watched it. Like I said, I'm just now searching it. It's a petition to try to get rid of Justin Trudeau. It was started on December 7th. Oh, there's one with the woman in it. How long is it? 1 minute. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can copy it here, and then I'll put it on the screen. Again, I haven't watched it, so I don't know what.
Okay, guys.
I just gotta switch my screen here. Here you go.
Okay, guys, so just a few days left to sign E4701, the largest signed e-petition in Canadian history. It was created by this human, Melissa Outwater. In a nutshell, we have 1:30 here, Melissa. What does your petition call on?
The petition calls on the House of Commons for a vote of no confidence with Justin Trudeau and the NDP coalition.
And you created this petition. ironically, because on the advice of the Prime Minister himself.
I did. So when he was testifying in the Emergencies Act inquiry, he let Canadians know that we have a democratic process and we should be using it.
And this is part of the democratic process. An e-petition is an excellent way to elevate your voice, to send a clear message to government, which is a Liberal NDP coalition, that you are not happy. So right now it's sitting at just under 370,000. You have until December 24th. And what number would you like to get to?
I'd like to see it at 400,000 by 309 on Christmas Eve.
400,000. All right. Well, let's see what we can do. You can sign. The link is in my bio. You can just also Google it, E4701. Thank you to everybody who signed it.
Thank you.
And we'll see what happens. We'll present it in the House of Commons, and you can send a very clear message that you want change. Thank you to Melissa Atwater for doing this and giving hope.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
Okay, guys.
So it ends tomorrow. I just added it in the comments, but I don't know. I don't think it's showing up on all the comments. Right now, for me, it's showing up on YouTube. But I'll go in after and add it. If you want to sign it, I guess it's closing tomorrow. So that's pretty by 3:09, probably Ontario time. So if you want to go sign it, click on that comment. I'll see if I can add it. If somebody has it too, add it in the comments if you're on Facebook or Twitter or whatever platform you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from, because I've had a few instances where it wasn't playing on Twitter, and normally it does. So I'm not sure if it was a glitch or something in the wording. I don't know, but it's showing that it's playing everywhere right now. So if you're watching from Twitter or Facebook, send me a comment. Just write. And is the sound okay? Is my mic still scratchy? I actually I'll talk about my time in Phoenix, Arizona as well. But I actually got someone, I showed them what was happening. They're the sound tech. So I met before even the event, the night before, I was at my hotel and I went to go eat downstairs, and it's kind of a funny story. So I'm coming down the elevator. Sound is good, no interference. Awesome. I think we figured it out. And I'll share with you guys how we were able to figure it out. So I was coming down the stairs, the elevator, and there's like this other young guy, like some like 20-year-old. Sound is excellent on X today. Okay, great. This 20-year-old's in the elevator, and we're just like facing each other, awkwardly standing in silence. And I'm like, don't you hate how awkwardly silent it is in elevators? And he smiles and laughs. He's like, well, now you've ruined it. so we're kind of joking, and then we're end up walking to the same place, like to go get food at the bar top area. It's not a bar, but it's a restaurant, but there's like a bar sitting area. I'm like, well, do you want to awkwardly sit awkwardly silent next to me? So we ended up sitting next to each other. So anyways, he's the camera guy for Blaze TV. So that's like Alec Beck, like, oh, so many of them. I'm going to just Google it quick, who it all is. Alec Beck, Ali. There's a Christian artist, Ali, that I always watch. The Blaze. I want to do it justice. I had heard of it, but I had to Google it. I'm like, who's on the Blaze again? Because you have quite a few in the US. Here, Blaze Media, Blaze TV. I'm just checking to see. I should have taken a picture too of their booth. They had them all there. So Relatable with Ali. Is it Sinclair? No, I can't see it. It's moving too fast. And Alec Beck, Liz Wheeler. I like listening to Liz. So that's the Blaze. So anyways, I'm sitting there, and another guy comes, and he's the producer and the husband of one of the Sarah Gonzalez, and then one of the other tech guy that was there. So yeah, it was quite random, but it was kind of cool. And so I'm telling them about, because when I found out they're like tech expert, I'm like, hey, I'm having issues with my sound. My mic keeps making these weird electronic noise, and I can't figure it out. And it's not in my head earpiece, which means it's like the computer. well, I use two systems. I use OBS and StreamYard. So right now I'm using both. OBS is like when I switch like a screen like this, that's in OBS. And then I have StreamYard when I want to play a video like I just did. And but the sound, my mic is in StreamYard. I guess he said, "Oh, that sounds like there's too much interference, as in two different sounds are trying to come in." I'm like, "But I only have one mic." He's like, "Do you have the mic also entered in OBS?" I'm like, "Yeah, but that's just video." He says, "No, it'll actually confuse the computer. Try to send the audio from one side, but your other side only takes the video." So he said, "Shut all of that off," which I did. And yeah, it's working now. So I have Rob from Blaze TV to thank for fixing this issue for me. So, and Jake was the guy that we're friends now. So he does like video and stuff too. I might actually hire him to do like an intro video or something. But anyways, we had some really good discussion about God and our faith, and hopefully I was able to offer him some encouragement. So if you're a woman in your 20s and a Catholic woman and looking for a good man, I could introduce you to Jake. I said I would pray for him to find a nice, good, godly woman wife. Anyways, look at me trying to match make my new friends. So yeah, so that that was I think I got it fixed now, so that's really good. Okay, and then from there, so that was before the event even started. Then I went and I had VIP tickets, so I bought VIP tickets just so I would have like more access to network and stuff. My whole goal going there was to go networking and meet people. And boy, did I meet a lot of people. So, some from the US. I met a few Canadians, some that I had met before. A lady that works with Canadians for Truth. I met up with her, and I met Chris, Billboard Chris. Actually, I met him in the airport. We kind of ran into each other and we had a nice chat with him and I, and we're probably gonna be working together. He might come up. He probably is going to come on my show. He said, I just got to kind of figure it out when we'll work. And if you don't know Billboard Chris, I highly recommend you follow him. We do have difference of opinion on some stuff, not the gender stuff. We're on the same page, just on the political stuff, on what politicians are doing and what they're not doing and stuff like that. But I really respect what Chris does. He's key in swaying public opinion, or the perception of public opinion. Public opinion's on our side when it comes to transitioning children and chopping off body parts of healthy children and puberty blockers and all the negative effects that does to a child. We're on the same page with that. And he's really swaying public opinion and realizing, yeah, the majority of people are on the same page as us. It's just you don't hear about it because you don't hear about it in the media. So yeah, I ran into Chris, and from there, oh gosh, I met so many people. I had so I'll kind of explain how the structure of AmericaFest was. I guess last year was different. So it's gotten so big now. It's like multi-million-dollar production. And you could tell when you walked in, all the walls had like stickers on the walls. And I said like the sticker would have been the entire wall of AmericaFest. Like it wasn't, the escalator down had stickers all the way. Like you could tell there was a lot of money spent on this event. There was Media Row, which is kind of where everyone has access to. And then there was a convention with booths, and like a big room full of booths. I don't know how many there was. I walked through there a few times, but I try to avoid walking for long periods of time. But I saw Talk Truth Radio, so I connected with them. So they're gonna have me on their show soon too. And what else? Like there was people there. I'm so sorry. Again, it was a late night. I flew I didn't arrive last night until 2:30, I think, at the airport, and then 3:30 by the time I got to bed. So yeah, there was booths there, but when you came back to Media Row, every like Blaze TV had a booth, Daily Wire had a booth, and sometimes they would have their people in there to do interviews. So you might be lucky and run into some of them to be able to take a photo if they were going from the exclusive backstage area to their booth. I didn't have access to the exclusive. I had access to VIP, which was a big room that there was food, like appetizer food, lunch food, drinks. Drinks weren't free, but like coffee and stuff was free. And so a lot of people were in that room, but it's like several hundred. So it's not like it's exclusive where you get to sit with like Michael Knowles and all of that. But then there was another added area called the executive area, and people who donated a lot of money to Turning Point USA were able to go there, or if they were like the really higher level people, guest speakers were able to go there. But then on top, after that, there was an even more exclusive area, which was backstage. I never got to go backstage. I did get invited in the executive a couple of times. So one of the friends that I made in California when I went there last year, I've talked about it before, he is a PR rep for people. Anyways, he was in there and I ran into him just by chance. He's like, "Oh, come with me." So I got to meet James Lindsay, so Conceptual James. We had talked before. He's supposed to come on my show, but we haven't arranged what day yet. It's going to be in the between Christmas and New Year's. So, and we're going to talk about the topic he's very controversial for right now, the woke right. So, how there is a woke left, but there's also a woke right, he says. So, it's something he's been bringing light to so that we can make sure we don't start incorporating the same kind of divisive techniques that the left use. We don't want to do that from our side. So we're going to address that topic. Anyways, I ran into him there and a few other really cool people too. And yeah, I got a bunch of photos. Do you guys want to see photos of the people I ran into? Oh, before I show the photos, one of the people I ran into, I almost ran over. So this would have been not the last day, the one just before. So the third day of the conference. I I took an Uber just because I have heels and I didn't want my feet to be sore by the time I got there. So I took an Uber to the conference and it popped up on, "Oh, we have a driverless Uber available." So I'm like, "You know what? I'm going to take this. I'm not going very far. We're not going on a really fast highway. It's like 5 minutes away. No, that's even like probably 10 minutes walk or 5 or 10 minutes walk. So it's not far, but I'll take a video for my son because my son is obsessed with self-driving vehicles. He's obsessed with Tesla, my 5-year-old, and he's obsessed with all things cars. But Teslas and self-driving vehicle, that's what gets him. He's such a little nerdy kid. He's so way too smart for his age. He figured out how to connect his not his phone. He doesn't have a phone. It's just like an old phone that just has Wi-Fi. He figured out how to connect it to the TV so he could play what he was watching, play the game he was doing on the TV from the phone. And I don't even know how to do that. Right. And we have a green light, but the pedestrian have a walking light. So the pedestrians have the right of way and there's like 5 people crossing the street. They're already in the intersection and the vehicle turns right in front of them and cuts them off. Like had they kept walking, they would have gotten run over. They had to. And if you know anything about traffic laws, when pedestrians have the right of way, if a pedestrian has to slow down or stop walking, you're in the wrong as a driver. But anyways, so that and I'm like mouthing to them, "I'm sorry." And then I realize it's Matt Gaetz. and he's just laughing, probably making fun of this driverless vehicle that almost runs him over. Anyways, he was speaking later that day or earlier that day, but there was like a meet and greet thing. So I went and got in line pretty early, so I didn't have to wait super long in the meet and greet line, and just to apologize about almost running him over. And here, I'll see if I can find it. And there's a lot of controversy about this man right now. I know, I know. So before you say, Nadine, you met him? Yeah. Um, I might go into it a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can make this bigger. Sorry. Oh no, disappeared. Give me a sec. I'm gonna see what I can do here. There you go. That might work. Yeah. So I got to meet him. And I have another video where I'm apologizing to him. So I said, so I'm the one that was in that driverless car that almost ran you over. And he's like, that was you. He's like, yeah, you were in the passenger seat. I'm like, did it creep you out? He's like, yeah, it kind of did. Anyways, so I don't know if you know, but he was supposed to be the attorney general. Is that what it is? Or the person that's in charge of like the charges and stuff across America. And then a story came out that there's a lot of allegations. And I haven't studied the whole thing. It's actually something on my list of things to do, that apparently he had sexual, I'm not going to say it, relationship with a minor. He was never charged, but then the Congress was doing a investigation on it. It was investigated by police, but it was deemed not to have the legitimacy for a charge. I've heard different stories, and I don't know if it's like for sure yet or accurate. Again, there's so much information online. I want to do a really big deep dive to find out exactly what the allegations are. But from what I saw, the girl in question, it's not the one who's come forward. It's an female adult who apparently was there at the time, who saw it, who never said anything. This would have been like years ago when he was much younger, and who saw it, saying she was underage. But then I've also saw other reports that she had a fake ID, but her ID said that she was 18. So when it would have occurred, even though she was 17, Matt was under the impression she was 18, even saw the ID. So if that was the case in legal terms, it doesn't matter what the actual age is. There is such a defense at being able to defend the intent. So if you thought somebody was 18 and you saw the proof of them being 18, then that person wouldn't get charged. So you have to prove intent when it comes to charges like this, especially not if it's unconsensual. If it was a rape, it'd be completely different. But when it comes to children, you can't deem them giving consent if they're underage. However, in this particular situation, he didn't know she was underage. In fact, the opposite. This is what I'm hearing. There's also other things that are being said. I don't know all the legitimacy of all of that. But anyways, I just thought I would share that story of how I almost ran him over. But right now, so he is just giving a position as a reporter or like main newscaster, whatever, for One American News. So I told him I was from Canada. I said, do you guys report on Canadian stuff? He said, yeah. I'm like, hey, if you want a commentator from Canada to report on Canadian stuff, I'm like, I do show, I have a studio and stuff, so I'd be happy to come on. He's like, yeah, we'd really like that. And then he introduced me to his producer, which God works in so many amazing ways. Anyways, he said, just give your information to this guy and we'll make it happen. And then the producer, earlier that morning, after I almost ran over Matt Gaetz. I went and got a coffee, and my hands were so full I had to set it down to adjust my purse. So I just set it down at this table, and I asked these two men that were like talking, "Hey, can I put this down for a minute just so I can adjust?" And they said no, like laughing. And then they said, "Yeah, you can." So I joked around with them a bit. Um, Turned on my charm. It's what I always do. And here, I can't find the show now. I hope it's still playing. Yeah, there you go. And oh, sorry. So the guys at that table was the producer. So when Matt Gaetz said, "Give your information to this guy," he's like, "Hey, I know you. You were the lady with the coffee this morning." I'm like, "I was." So it just kind of was like a warm opening already because we had already met and had a good first impression. So yeah, so I may be going on One America News, maybe with Matt Gaetz on the show, or maybe it'll be someone else. I don't know what's all going to happen with his situation, but I do have some thoughts on it. There's more than just that allegation. There's also some stuff where he went on Tucker News and explained something that sounds like an insane story, but it actually turns out it was true. His dad was being blackmailed to try to get this prisoner out of a Middle East country. They try to blackmail him with $25 million. So and that checked out to be true. So so there's a lot of and Matt Gaetz and his dad said, "No, I didn't do anything wrong. We're not going to pay this. We're not going to do this. It's not going to work. I'm going to stand by I didn't do anything wrong." And then around that time is when Matt Gaetz would have been investigated, and in that investigation they found him not, like, he never even was charged. So it's not like he was charged and found not guilty. They're like, "We don't have anything to charge him with." So I haven't seen the report yet, but I can only tell you on my personal experience or my read. I don't think Matt Gaetz is a saint, and I have different thoughts on how politicians should carry themselves. I have a higher standard for politicians. i- Carry themselves also in the house. So I don't always agree with the way he approaches things. But when it comes to the whole kind of profile, I think a lot of men who aren't like happily married with kids and settled down do a lot of really poor decision, especially when alcohol is involved. And I honestly believe like the moral character of maybe some of those decisions were questionable and questionable for someone in office. But again, I know millions of people in this world have done morally questionable decision, I being one of them. So is it a criminal aspect to it? Do I think he's a threat? No, I didn't get that read at all from him when I met him in person. So he appeared to be very genuine, very authentic, very like charming, warm, but not I didn't get any creep vibe from him at all. And usually I do. So, and I also know we've seen in the last few years a lot of false allegations come out. You saw that with Kavanaugh, you saw that with Jean Carroll. And I'm actually going to do a full episode on my digging into the whole Jean Carroll and Trump, and just the things that I found that I'm like, how did this even make it to court? This witness has zero credibility. Jean Carroll, I speak of. The woman is absolutely unhinged, insane, and talks on CNN show with, I think, Anderson, I can't remember his first name, about how she thinks rape is sexy, how the general population thinks rape is sexy. No victims of rape ever thinks it's sexy. It's traumatizing. But anyways, that's a subject that I'm going to dig into. I actually been saving bookmarks in it of all the things that I've come across to do like a deep dive into that whole case and what it means, cuz you have people saying that Trump's been convicted of rape. No, he was never convicted of rape. What the lawsuit was is because he called her crazy. It was a libel lawsuit. They even said there's no evidence of an assault occurring. It's because of the things he said. And even that whole thing was I'll get into the details. It's too much to get on this show. But yeah, so there's controversy about Matt Gaetz. There is a report I just saw before I started this show about the investigation that is it the House, the Senate, the Congress? Do you guys know if it's Congress? There's a report. Anyways, I haven't seen it. I've seen news people saying this is what the report says, but I haven't seen the actual report. And you see that. And it's not like credible news people, anyways. It's like far left, like Trump alternative media. So usually they're always worse. I do foresee some of the news reporting that's going to be happening. I do foresee some lawsuits occurring for defamation. But it's Congress, James. Yeah, I think. I don't know if you just wrote that comment. James just said Congress, so it must be Congress. There. If you don't follow James already, I highly recommend you do. But yeah, I haven't seen the report yet, but I have witnessed the lawfare that has happened in the last few years against conservatives. And it's funny that same lawfare is not equally applied to Democrats. You almost always see it on a conservative. They start to rise, then all of a sudden there's allegations of sexual abuse. Now, I have really strong thoughts on this. If it occurred, yes, do a full investigation. I want them to be treated to punished to the fullest extent of the law. I believe victims deserve justice, and I do so not just as a former police officer, I do so as a former survivor of sexual abuse myself. However, I will add, in my career as a police officer, I have seen numerous times false allegations of rape occurring, whether it was they were caught in the act of cheating, all of a sudden it's rape, or whether it was a nasty divorce. I've seen a mother claim that her daughter was being sexually abused by this person. We did an entire investigation. We did a polygraph, and when I told her the results of the polygraph, instead of being happy that her daughter wasn't sexually abused, she lost it on me and said that I was lying, that I was probably in on it. Like, just insane. There are a lot of insane people out there with a lot of nefarious motives. I've seen people falsely accused to get money with lawsuits, and just because they're struggling financially, or they have enormous spending. I've seen lives completely ruined where there was no indication it actually occurred, no charges laid, but then they go in the way of suing. It's going to be interesting to see when I hear that somebody's doing like a lawsuit instead of a criminal investigation. It always raises my spidey sense that something's up more than a crime actually having occurred. Just so you know, a lawsuit has a different criteria than a criminal charge. A criminal charge, you need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the crime occurred. So that's like a 98, 99% sure, more like 99% sure that it occurred. Now, to arrest someone, it's a lower percentage. To arrest someone, you need to have suspicion that I should go back and because it's been so long. Reevaluate the terms. Because you could detain them if you thought 50%, okay, they did it. But then you could arrest if you thought 70% or 75% that they reasonable suspicion. Was it reasonable? Yeah. And then to convict, prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So we would arrest, and then we'd get more, do more of an investigation, get more evidence. Usually that would be like an interview with the accused, the one we arrested, and we would ask questions. Now, in a lawsuit is very different. In a lawsuit, it's 50 plus 1, 50% plus 1. So you don't need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that someone's done something. You just need to prove that it's more likely they did than they didn't. And I think this is actually something that is actually wrong about our legal system when it comes to lawsuit. And it's even worse in the US. In Canada, if you lose, you usually will have to pay all the court costs for the person you sued. So it deters people to sue, because sometimes those court costs can be up to $100,000. So you're less likely to put someone through that if there's less legitimacy to it. However, I have seen numerous cases where they still have, and someone I know personally who's in the medical profession was falsely accused. And I actually went and looked at the trial and could read the body language and stuff, and I fully believe that it was a false accusation. Even the accusation itself was insane, but as in, it didn't make sense. So, but yeah, so do I think he did what they're saying he did? There's a possibility. I do believe that he had sex with an underage minor. Do I believe he thought she was underage? No. I don't think someone in that position would take that much of a risk, but you see it all the time. I don't know how long ago it was, but from what I've seen, and the fact that he didn't get charged leads me to believe that he honestly believes she was over 18. Do I think that that's okay? No, I don't know when it was or how old he was at the time, but it wasn't recently. It's said to be a long time ago. And it's funny, conveniently just comes out right around the time he's being considered for a really high position in Trump's administration. So I always get skeptical. Why didn't this woman who apparently saw this come forward at the time? Why didn't she stop it from happening if she knew that girl was underage? Why did she just watch it and witness it and not? To me, she's almost just as much as guilty as a party to the offense. If she witnessed this, she knew she was underage, but didn't do anything about it. So, but we'll see. Controversy around that. I'm going to do some more digging. Like I said, I'm not 100% informed on it. It's just the little bits of pieces that I've gotten, and just my read on him when I met him. It wasn't that of a, like I said, he's not a saint. I don't believe him to be a saint. I think a lot of times when men don't settle down and find themselves a good woman and have a family, I think you're more likely to go in line of having a life not reflective of what God has in plan for, or God biblical life. So, or biblical reflecting life. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say Matt Gaetz is going to be my new best friend, but I also have some concerns about the lawfare that's happening around him. When I read the report, I'll let you guys know what I think, because often the case, when you hear witness testimony and stuff, you get a different perspective of someone. People can be extremely manipulative. People can fool even the best profilers. It's happened before. I've been fooled before. I'm about 95% accurate. So I'm not sure. Sorry, I got distracted about the comments. James says, were they worried that Gaetz would expose them? Ooh, he says, do the people on the committee have some skeletons in the closet? You know what? I don't know, but I do know that Matt Gaetz was being very vocal about exposing everything and exposing the corruption in DC. So look, when it comes to stuff like this, we're talking about people in the most highest powers of government and highest position of power in the world. And if a lot of people have been up to no good and it's all going to get exposed, the corruption, the financial corruption, all sorts of corruption, I could see them wanting someone who's going to try to sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened. And I don't think Matt Gaetz would have been one of those people, especially with how aggressive he's been on standing on his um, convictions in the House. That's one thing I noticed too. It doesn't quite fit the profile. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping that is it Pam Bundy that's replacing him. I'm hoping that she's gonna be just as aggressive. So yeah, I met Matt. Who else did I meet? Oh, Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles is one of my favorite conservative commentator in the US. I just like his approach. He's not as aggressive, not as like he's not like a bully. I find sometimes Matt Walsh and Candace Owen and that they can kind of be aggressive and a bully. I just like Michael Knowles' approach way more. He speaks about his faith a lot, and I really like that. I've seen a few interviews. One of them was with Tim Ballard, and the guy that was the actor, or the guy, the police officer, that the story of, is it Save the Children? War on Children? Is it War on Children? Oh, tell me the name of the movie with Tim Ballard in the comments. I'm having a brain fart here. Save the Children? No. Something Children. Someone tell me. Please help me. It's bothering me. But so yeah, with Tim and Kazeel, the other actor. So Tim and Kazeel, can't remember the first name. Michael Knowles was interviewing them, and it was a phenomenal interview. And so yeah, I really like the way he approaches subjects and stuff. Is less aggressive, a little bit more, even like for man. And I think he's a good example for men as well. So young men. And yeah, so I ran into him, and how I ran into him, I wasn't even in the VIP room. It was just in the hall. And I said, "Hey, Michael, can I get a picture?" He's like, "Sure." And he's like, "I really like your dress." So I was wearing like a very and it doesn't shock me he would say that. I was wearing, it's a long floor length dress, and it's got like sleeves like that. It's white with like blue flowers. It's very flowy. It's very traditional looking dress. Like I look like I'm a trad mom in that dress. So I could see that being a dress that he would like, cuz I think that's the kind of things that he probably loves his wife to wear. Just it just fits his profile. So yeah, he said my dress was really nice. And then I didn't get to chat with him much more. He was like surrounded by bodyguards. There was like 4 or 5 of them. They probably didn't see me as a threat. If they only knew. No, I'm kidding. Um, but so it was just a quick photo, and then he kept going. So it's not like I got to chat with him, but I am going to reach out to his team to see if he'd be interested in coming on my show. You never know. You will not get them to come on your show if you don't ask. I've reached out to some people and they have said yes. So I have a pretty big deal guest coming on the 10th, January 10th. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, so I met him, and I didn't meet any other. I guess I met Ted Cruz. I'll show you guys a photo here. I just gotta find where I put it. Where did it go? Here. I'll go through the photos of the people that I met because it's kind of fun. Here. I just gotta adjust it here so you can see it too. So that was my photo with Michael Knowles. Where did the show go? Here you go. Right there. I don't know who this guy is. He photobombed the show. The photo. It's kind of funny that he's looking too. I did run into this guy at other times before, so he looked familiar to me. But I don't know if he's part of his team. There's a bodyguard here, and there's like some at the front of him. But he's super smiley, super friendly. Michael Knowles was the most warm out of all of the people I took pictures with. He was the most warmest. Like you could feel his positive energy come like out of him. He was so like nice and just authentic. So yeah, so I met Michael. This guy. I don't know if this guy looks familiar to you guys, but there's a lot of conspiracy. We're gonna put our conspiracy hat on. I'm kidding. This guy is if you saw what Trump's assassination attempt, he was in the back. Actually, let's find that video. I would like, because I haven't seen it after I saw this, but I'm gonna see if I can find it, because everyone said his reaction was just got them to their core. Here, Trump. What was the name of that town in where it happened? I'm can't remember. Here, I'm just trying to find it here. Oh yeah.
What happened? What happened?
Let's put it on the big screen. I'll share it with you guys. Wrong layout. Is it the wrong one? No, it's good. Okay. So just pay attention. Right there. Right there. Okay.
Move his spear. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go.
I would not be listening with the audio.
Get ready. You ready? Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move? We're clear. Let's move. We're clear. Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold that in your head. It's bloody. So we got to move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
Look at it. Huh. I had not heard that version of it, because you could really hear what Trump was saying at the time. Wow. This guy was the one behind him. I'm gonna bookmark that one, because you can hear him say, let me get my shoes. So he must have been knocked off his feet so hard that he lost his shoes. I've talked about this before. I wrote a tweet when this happened. Actually, I'm going to read it for you guys, because I have listeners who may not know me, may not have listened to me before, and they may not have seen this tweet, but it was a tweet that went insanely viral. And it's exactly how I felt. And I think it's how a lot of Canadians, a lot of people in America felt as well. I just want to share it. I'm going to see if I can find it here. About what happened. I wasn't planning on playing that video, but Yeah. So this is the guy that was behind Trump. He's actually seen in a lot, while I look for this, he's actually seen in a lot of Trump's rallies. I did talk to him. And I have his name. He's got my cell. I've got his cell. I'm gonna see if he'll come on my show, and then he can talk about what happened. He said he would when I talked to him. So is it Kyle? I'm trying to remember. I'm so bad with names. I know some people were saying I made a post about it. Who's this guy? I'm told he's famous. Who is he? So the conspiracy, just so you know, the conspiracy is that that's RFK. Is it RFK Jr.? The one that died in a plane crash. The conspiracy is that he's not actually dead, that it's this guy that's showing up everywhere. I'm gonna see. Oh, I gotta find it. I gotta find it. I should have had this prepared. Because I did make a post on it. I'll find the post because some people have told me who he is in the comments. Sorry, I should remember. There's so many things going on in my mind right now, and with Christmas, and I'm just gonna find it. It was while I was out there. I thought I would get everyone talking. Okay, I said, who is this person? I'll share it with you guys. There. And let's see who said what they said in the comments. Oops. How do you check the comments? Here you go. Yeah, so QAnon thinks he's JFK Jr. Sorry, not RFK Jr. JFK Jr. Vincent Fusca. That's who he is. But some people say Kyle Kemper. I don't know who that is. Does someone know who Kyle Kemper is? There's another conspiracy attached to that. But his name is Vincent Fusca? Fusca? Is that how you say that? Anyways, super awesome guy, super friendly. We really hit it off. And I asked him he would come on my show. He's like, it depends. I have to do some background digging on you first. So I hope he will. I really liked him. He was one of my most favorite person that I met there. But yeah, let's see what I wrote about Trump when this happened. And I'll read it to you guys for in case you didn't see it, but I got to find it first. I'm just going to search Trump under my profile. There probably will be a lot come out because I've been saying, oh, it won't let me search. It'll be my highlights. Okay. It's not in there. I just noticed other ones that are in there. I'm like, oh, I should do posts about profiling more because it seems people really find it fascinating and interesting that I'm a trained profiler. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. I'm going to share it with you guys. Boom. Right there. And this is honestly how I felt. I used to really dislike Trump. I thought he was arrogant, crass, prideful, and I felt the US could do better. While he may partly be those things, the way legacy media twisted everything he said actually got me to start waking up to how much we are being deceived every day by them. The more I looked into his life before politics, his policies, action, and how they helped the American people, I started slowly changing my mind. After the events of yesterday, my mind has 100% changed. Trump is exactly what America and the world needs. When you're put in a life or death situation, it shows the world what you are made of. In that moment, Trump showed the world the kind of leader he is. He showed that when under fire and under attack, he will always stand for the American people, even if that means a great sacrifice to himself. On what was likely one of the worst days of his life, he inspired a nation. He inspired the world. If America wants to become the greatest country in the free world again, it needs a leader like that. As a Canadian looking to the U.S. as our greatest ally, may God protect President Donald Trump, and may God bless America. And I mean every single word of that. If anything, I think he's shown more and more through perseverance that he's the right man for the job. But yeah, interesting. So that's, oh my gosh, Vincent. I was like, did I already forget his name? So that was Vincent that I met here. We'll see if he'll come on my show. I'll let you guys know. If you don't follow me already and you want to know when he does come on, subscribe wherever you're watching. If it's on Twitter, if it's on YouTube, Facebook, just click the notification so you get notified of it. And hopefully it'll be soon. I'm going to reach out to him. We exchanged texts. So who's the next person? Okay, so this person, I didn't know who he was, but I was like wearing a dress that kind of looks like older too. And he was wearing, I'm like, I like your outfit. But apparently this guy is like also someone quite well known. He's an artist, a rap artist in the US called Spirit. And I didn't know, but he was super cool about it. I'm like, I'm Canadian. We don't know everything that happens in the US, but I don't think he's like super huge either. But he was one of the ones who was playing. I think O'Keefe was having like a rave type after party or whatever. It wasn't actually a rave, but sort of. Anyways, he was supposed to be playing at that. I was going to go to that thing. I did get tickets and I got there and I was waiting in line, but my feet were so sore. I had like blisters under my feet. So I'm like, I'm too old for this. It's not my scene. Loud music and banging, shaking, like where that shakes your body. I'm like, I'm too old for this. So I actually took an Uber and didn't actually go in, but there was a video online that I thought was funny of two guys apparently fighting, and there was a poll, who do you think won? And there was the name of both the guys, the patriot, the expatriate or whatever it's called, and then the other guy was a rapper, and then the third option was the gravel. And everyone voted that the gravel won in that fight. So, but I wasn't there to see that. This lady, that's the dress I was wearing. So someone need to teach me how to pose, because every pose that I take, unless I'm like in my mirror, I'm like, I look like 50 pounds heavier than I am. But anyways, this lady was, you might remember her. She was the lady that was from Brazil. I'm going to try to find Brazil lady. Oh, I'm going to search for it on. Oh, and I also forgot her name. I have her name here. We did text too. I've messaged so many people. I'm having a hard time finding it. I'll just see. I followed her on Twitter, so it'll be the people I recently followed. Oh, I followed a lot of people since. I also met a lady from Florida, Truth Bomb Mom. She's on Instagram. So she was giving me tips on how to get Instagram going. I'm almost there. Is it Rachel? No. No, it's not that one. I can't. Oh, Nayara. That's right. Nayara and Drejski. Here. I'm gonna search it on X, because you'll remember this video. She was the one that went in the drive-through when Trump was working the drive-through at McDonald's, and she says you need to save. So I know the backstory to this. She told me the backstory. So she she was like, I guess Trump was having an event. She's like, I want to go. I want to meet him. And she got there and they're like, oh, go in the drive-through. But she knew Trump was inside the McDonald's, but she didn't think he was actually going to be serving her. And she didn't realize she was actually going to get to talk to Trump until she got to the window, and she had nothing prepared to say. So everything she said just like flew out of her mouth, she says. So I'm going to see if I can find it, the video, because I want to play it for you guys. Nayara McDonald's. See. Trump. Thanks for being patient with me. Is it this one?
Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's a...
You look good looking.
Quality. I want to get a better one for you guys. So her story's kind of changed since, because now she's seen in Brazil as like this hero. So like the former president of Brazil's like in contact with her. Oh, here you go. This is her. Oh, she's
a lot of fun.
Yeah. She's one of my new favorite people. I met so many awesome people while I was there. Okay. You guys get to share this with me. Okay. I just got to switch screens. Here you go.
A lot of fun here, everybody.
Oh my God! Oh
Look
my
at the
God!
look at all the fake news over there. I love